Good morning, everybody, and happy Tuesday. I have got an awesome product for you today, and even better, we're going to be installing it. So, this right here is Auxbeam's new 3-inch color play series. I have the daytime running light series. This right here is something that could be used on four-wheelers, trucks, boats, Jeeps, motorcycles, you name it. Well, boats. If your boat has turn signals, go for it. So what's really cool about this is these right here can be hooked into your daytime running lights as well as your turn signals. So when they're not on, you have a light, light as in a more dim light that operates as your daytime running light in a white color. And then, of course, whenever you turn your turn signal on, if you've hooked it up that way, your amber turn signal will illuminate on whichever side, or both if you're using your hazards. And then, of course, you have an actual on-off switch inside the cab that will turn on the actual spotlights. It does come with the clear faceplate as well as the amber faceplate. So you can have either color, and then, of course, if you have the amber faceplate on, you'll have amber running lights, and then maybe a deeper amber turn signal. But let's go ahead and get this out of the box and see what we have to work with and go from there. Three-inch Color Play Series daytime running light version. Let's see what we got. You are important. I agree. Oh, stickers. They know me. They have to know me. Anybody who doesn't know me, I love stickers. Anyway, all right. So awesome sticker. Nice padding. Ooh, it looks like it's packaged pretty well too. All right, so we've got LED pod fog lights, troubleshooting, mount instructions, electrical connections. Okay, so instruction booklet. This right here, okay, looks like it may break down. Oh, very nice. Actually gives us the beam pattern. All right, so since these are considered spotlight, that would be this one right up here. So it looks like you actually have a pretty wide beam right at the front of the vehicle, and then a good distance. Okay. Yeah, and then of course it breaks down the amount of power, lumens, 11,600 lumens, 6,500 color temperature, 3-inch. Okay. Awesome. Oh, more instructions. Okay. So if you like quick, easy to read rather than having to flip through the book, this is your go-to. And these are plug and play. The only piece that you will have to wire is going to be the actual daytime running lights and the turn signal lights. Now, obviously, you don't have to do that if you don't want to, but why not? So, instructions, and then we've got, all right, the mounting bolts for the actual brackets. Now, I do know for a fact already, these right here are too long for my application, so I will have to find something that is a little bit shorter. I may even take this, so I have some in the garage. I mean, just like anybody that has a lot of parts that they've added to vehicles, they always come with extra bolts and or bolts that you really don't know where they ended up going. So I've got some that would fit, but they're not quite this thickness, so I think I may go to Home Depot and grab something this size, but just shorter. That way it kind of keeps the same width. All right, and then we've got the wiring harness. All right, yep, and again, plug and play. And then this right here is your actual switch, a little toggle switch. So I will get a paddle bit, and I am normally not one to want to drill into my dash, and let's be honest, I'm not now, but if done correctly and done with care, you know, go back to that old school idea of measure twice, cut once, you'll be just fine. Inline fuse built into the harness itself, so that's really nice. And then of course the battery connections. And nice thick, heavy gauge, heavy duty wiring. All right, and then you got 2 of the actual light plugs. So this end right here will go into the back of the light itself, and then you've got your wiring to run into the turn signal and the daytime running light. Now, yes, you can just take these and splice directly into the actual power wire that is run for that item, but I am going to use a fuse tap and split the fuse in the fuse panel. It does come with this little crimp thing. Now this is something extra. I'll link this below as well. But this is something extra that I've had and I use for other applications. It's the same thing that is run to Danielle's Jeep. Same thing that is run my light bar on the front of the truck. But I'm going to go ahead and cut this piece off because, and I will link these below as well. These right here are amazing. They are, if I can open it, they are wire crimps, but they actually have solder built into the middle. Let's see if that focus. Nah, it's not gonna focus. All right, so the silver in the middle of each one of these is solder. So as you're heating it up, once that solder gets hot enough, it'll basically explode, but within the little crimp, and will actually solder your wires together. So definitely worth having. Anyway, so yellow for turn signal, white for daytime running light. You do have 2 of those. And then let's check, there's the covers, let's check the light out. Oh, wow. This thing is heavy. I like it though. I mean, if weight was a quality item, and generally with something like this, it is in my experience. So this right here is a pretty heavy duty light here. I don't want to break it, but I mean, that was, yeah. All right, take that off. And I'm not really sure how to get that on. Now, the little tool pack did come with a little bitty flathead looking thing. Like, I mean little bitty. But there is a little, like, divot under here. So I'm wondering if you just pop it out. No, you don't pop it out. What do you do? We're gonna learn this together, guys. I mean, I feel like you should just pop it in there. I don't want to break it. All right. Where's the instruction booklet? Let's not break it as soon as I get it in, huh? That's mount, electrical. Okay, so okay, so I don't see anything in here on how to actually pop that off nicely. There's got to be a way. And I would imagine it's got to be a way that's easy to do because you're off-road and the last thing you want to have to be messing with is that. So, All right, I will figure that out in the meantime. But let's go ahead and get some of this stuff taken care of before I go outside. It's hot outside today. So what we are going to do first is we are going to actually take these right here and splice into this and wire up the fuse tap. Now, eventually, I will go ahead and run the daytime running lights, but for right now, because those will actually have to end up getting connected as one and then into a fuse tap. So I'm going to go ahead and just use what I've got here and just do the turn signal fuse taps so that they're done. Do that inside, and then we'll go outside and start working on the truck. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off this extra blue thing that I don't need. And then I'm going to cut this and give it about that much. Okay, I'm gonna need more than that. I always try to cut off as little as I possibly can, but you know, sometimes you need more. All right. I like to twist these right here so that it is one solid rope. And I'm gonna go ahead and grab, I don't think this one's gonna fit it. No, not well enough. So we'll go to the next size up. Take this blue one. All right. Now I'm going to take this right here. I'm going to cut a little bit more off of it. I apologize. I keep bumping the tripod. All right. So go ahead and slide that on and take my fuse tap and wrap it up together. And I'm going to slide this back up. I'm going to make sure that I get the actual solder covering where the wire is. And my torch is in the camping gear, so we're going to use a traditional lighter. Just get it a little bit heat. And you guys will see here in a second. That solder will melt. I blew it out. Yep, it melted. So now we'll go ahead and crimp down the rest of the wire crimp, as long as I stop blowing out the flame. And you can see kind of that solder actually melted in there, and this isn't going anywhere. All right, so that one is done. I'll go ahead and knock out the next, and we will get outside. All right, guys, good morning. Day 2, so sorry about that. Yesterday I wasn't able to do anything after prepping. I had to go get a new listing. That'll go live Thursday. And while I'm down there, again, Thursday, I'll be signing another listing. So, productive week. But I did make some progress on this. So first of all, when I got these in, these lines were actually separate from this. I mean, they weren't separate. They were connected up here. But since this is what will plug into the truck at the mount, I didn't want white and yellow wires just hanging out. So took that fabric wire wrap and wrapped the wire to about a couple inches before the actual connection. So that's prepped, as well as went and got some bolts that'll fit, because these are a little too long for the mount that I'm using. All right. So this was the original bolt. Ignore the nut. This is the new one. So about a 1/2 inch difference, but this should allow me to actually connect it without issue. So let's do that. All right, so the bolt that actually comes with it is a 17. So we're going to go ahead and hope, whoops. All right, so both lights are on. Truck has been backed out of the garage because I had to open the hood anyway to start the wiring. And the truck is too tall with the hood open to fit in the garage. So there's that. But the first thing I'm going to do is get all this undone, because I want to make sure of the distance between everything. For instance, you have a relay, and a lot of times the relay is nowhere near where it should be, the battery. Luckily, you've got your inline fuse, your connections positive and negative, and then relay within 1.5 feet. And then quite a bit of wire, which we will zip tie up and out of the way, and then our actual switch. So since this is a flush mount switch, and we did talk yesterday about how I do not like bolting into the dash, but or screwing into the dash, but I don't have much of a choice. Now this is a triple connection. It'll have positive, negative, and then power to the little light. But what I'm going to do when I remember where they are is get my paddle bits. Oh, there they are. And I'm going to look for a paddle that is that size. It looks like 7/8 is the trick. Measure twice, cut once. It's definitely not 1 inch. All right. Although I do have my step bit, but I don't think, yeah, step bit isn't wide enough. All right. Let's go ahead and get this put in. And then this will all run under the dash. The wiring connection will go through the dash to where it connects back to this. So let's do it. I apologize for the poor lighting. Blame the sun, Mother Nature. So I've got my drill, got my 7/8 paddle bit, and I've got my wire. Now I want to decide, where do I want this to go? Do I want to put it here next to the actual shifter? I do have my auxiliary light bar right there, which is a hidden light bar. But I kind of want it right there. but I'm not sure what's behind that. All right, does this easily pop off? It does. How easily? Not easily enough. But, all right, that's not going to work anyway because everything behind that is solid. So let's move that back out of the way. Oh. Crimping my wire. Word to the wise, don't pop out the right hand side where the shift knob is if you want it to go back in easily. It doesn't. So I'm still looking for a place to mount this switch, and the problem is because it's got to be relatively deep to be able to fit the entire switch behind the dash. So bear with me while I try to find a place, and once I do, I will get it drilled. I'll get it in, and then move on to the next step. All right. Wasn't the easiest place, but I found the place that I think it's going to look the best. So right here where my light switch is, it's going to sit right there on top. I did have to drill into the actual mounting piece behind it. I'll clean all these little frays up. But I did leave all of the pops available. So let's go ahead and get this in and see what it looks like. I'm happy with it. Now let's go wire. All right. Final step. And evidently that's not a 10. It is, however, a 12. Probably should have gone a little further with those. Clean it up later. We're done. Finally. So I actually did find, nope, wrong drawer, some wire. So I did go ahead and run the turn signals off of the lights. I am still waiting on the next Micro 2 brain fart. Fuse tap. That took way longer than it should have. But it's done. So once that comes in, I will go ahead and get the running lights wired in. Right now, like I said, just the turn signals are in, but the turn signals actually work really cool. Let's check it out.